In Macau, a hacker named Simon guides his team as they drive a car and hack into several security entrances of a bank and successfully steal from the bank's vault. Meanwhile, the police headquarters becomes aware of the intrusion when an alarm is triggered. They locate the group in a car and immediately deploy a unit to apprehend them. The chief of the surveillance team, Madame Wang, instructs the pursuing officers to follow her directions carefully. Wang devises a plan to corner the group in a particular alley where there is no escape route. The pursuing team follows her instructions and corners the group's car, clearly visible on the CCTV cameras. However, when the pursuing team leader, Wu, and the rest steps out of their vehicle, they discover that there is no car in the alley at all. They have been tricked by Simon from the beginning. The next day, Wu and another officer inform the owner of a particular safety deposit box that his box was the only one robbed by the group known as the Spice Girls. The owner tells them that it contained half of the password to his crypto account, which is worth $500 million US. The other half of the password is kept in his office in the city. Wu radios in the information, and the police deploy a team to secure the building. Meanwhile, the Spice Girls, a group composed solely of young men, are now in the building to steal the remaining half of the password. They successfully gain access to it, but Simon learns that the police are on their way and gives his team 3 minutes to execute the plan. However, they discover government crypto account worth $1.5 billion, and the group decides to steal it as well. Their leader, an elderly man named Fu, is in the building guiding his team. He orders them to leave the additional account alone as they don't have enough time, but they ignore his instructions and proceed anyway, successfully stealing it. As they attempt to exit the building, Wu and the rest of his team arrive just in time to block their escape. The rest of the group runs back inside while Fu exits the building. Wu and his team chase after the group and catch up to them just before they can enter the elevator. A fight ensues, revealing that the Spice Girls are far more skilled fighters than the police. They eventually capture Wu and escape in the elevator while the rest of his team can do nothing. Wu attempts to fight the 4 members of the group, leading to a brutal struggle inside the elevator, but he is ultimately knocked out. He eventually regains consciousness only to find them leaping off the building with parachutes. Wu and the rest of the team follow the group, who have landed on a nearby hotel. Meanwhile, Simon hacks into the hotel's cameras, allowing the group to change clothes and disguise themselves as other guests or hotel personnel. Wu bumps into one of them and recognizes him, but Fu, who is also there, helps the team by giving them enough time to complete their disguises and successfully escape. Later, the police chief reprimands the team for being incompetent and careless enough to allow Simon to hack into their system. Wang explains that the group is extremely skilled and that they will need more help in order to capture them. Wang suggests asking for the help of Wu's former captain, retired Officer Wang. A new police officer named He is assigned to find Wang, and soon she and another young officer named Xin manage to track him down. However, while He is inside a cafe relaying information, Wang enters the cafe and reveals that he knows they have been following him. He admits it when Wang hands back Xin's ID. Soon, Wang arrives at their headquarters, and He hands the ID back to Xin, who has a crush on her. Wang is immediately called into a room by Wu, who shows him the hotel's surveillance footage. Wang asks to replay only the last 15 seconds of the recording, and he immediately identifies all the suspects. He explains that the group keeps glancing at the cameras, which means they're aware they are being watched. Meanwhile, the Spice Girls are in their hideout when Fu arrives and begins hitting them. Simon tries to stop him, but Fu is a highly skilled fighter who has taught them how to fight. Simon's twin brother, Shai Wang, watches as Fu vents his frustrations on them, but when Fu takes out a knife, Shai Wang intervenes. Simon observes that Shai Wang is no longer fond of Fu. Simon recalls how Fu took care of them when they were young and living in an orphanage. Fu would visit them regularly, bring them presents, and love them as if they were his own children. As they eat, Fu tells Shi Wang that he simply does not want anything bad to happen to them. It turns out that Shi Wang is Fu's favorite among the group, as he sees himself in him. On the other hand, at police headquarters, everyone works to identify the group by their faces. They cannot find a single photo of the group and only manage to find a photo of Fu. But the image is blurry and he cannot be identified. During the briefing, Wang reveals information about a former Special Forces operative named Shadow, who is exceptionally skilled at infiltrating targets without being detected. Shadow eventually left the service and led a group responsible for dozens of bank heists. His team was ultimately killed, but Shadow was never captured. Wong believes that Fu is Shadow, the leader of the group, but they still have no evidence. The surveillance video shows that Shadow disappears in a particular part of the city called Old Town, suggesting they may be residing there. The police chief asks Wong to lead a surveillance team to identify Shadow and capture his face. Wong believes that most of them were seen by Shadow in the recent encounters and can be easily recognized, so he needs a new team. Later, while Hei is in the gym, a few police officers approach her and mock her for being small, claiming she only became a police officer because of her late father's accomplishments. Hei takes this personally and confronts one of them, and a fight ensues in which she nearly breaks the officer's arm. After that, Wong, who witnesses this, sits on the rooftop and reveals that he was the former partner of Hei's father and was with him when he was killed. The next day, Wong arrives at headquarters to begin forming the surveillance team. He has the officers line up in a room and selects those who do not look like police officers. After choosing the team, they begin training on how to trail suspects without being noticed. Wong takes Hei under his wing to train her personally, while the rest of the team practices adopting the identities of ordinary people working regular jobs on the streets. After a few weeks of scouting Old Town, Hei is walking down the street when she hears girls screaming as they are harassed by 3 men. Wong advises her to ignore it, but Hei goes to help them anyway. She is eventually overpowered by the men, but Wong arrives in time to assist her and knocks them down. When they return to their vehicle, Wong becomes angry at Hei for being reckless, pointing out that they are on an important mission and she might have blown their cover. When Hei talks back, Wong reveals that her father was killed during a mission because he did the same thing, helping a child who is on the brink of being abducted. Despite Hei's father ordering him not to intervene, Wong ignored the warning and helped the child anyway. This led to Hei's father being shot at the scene and dying, their target escaping, and the child being kidnapped regardless. Wong advises Hei to follow strict orders. Although it goes against her will, she must obey because it is for the greater good. While they are talking, Wong does not realize that the entire police force is listening. Meanwhile, as they pass through the marketplace, Hei spots Fu. Wong informs the team and assigns Hei to trail him inside the market. The rest of the team arrives as well, but they cannot get close because Fu appears to be highly observant. Hei, however, manages to get near him and pretends to be looking at something on the ground as Fu passes by. But Fu looks back, and Wong orders everyone to stop moving. Fu eventually leaves the area, and the team follows him and monitors his movements. They eventually see him enter a large apartment building, but they still need to determine his exact room, so Hei continues to follow him. Wong then realizes that Fu had actually seen Hei touching her ear in the market, and may now suspect that she is a police officer trailing him. On the other hand, Hei waits by the elevator with Fu standing beside her. Fu recognizes her from the market and quietly takes a knife from his pocket. But after they enter the elevator, Wong arrives, pretending to be Hei's father, and removes her earpiece. When Fu glances at her ear, he sees nothing. Wong scolds her for dropping her earring in the market, and Hei plays along. They continue pretending to be a father and daughter arguing. Then Wong takes out a rotten apple and offers it to Fu. When Fu declines, Wong bites into the rotten part and spits it out, revealing a hidden camera inside. When they reach the floor Hei chose, they step out of the elevator and continue pretending to head toward a room. Knowing that Fu is watching, Wong disassembles his glasses to pick the lock of a random door and manages to open it. Once Fu is convinced they live there, he moves on, while Wong keeps the real resident from screaming. Meanwhile, HQ continues to monitor Fu and discovers that he is living on the 8th floor of the apartment building. They immediately set up several cameras in the area, including an infrared one, to monitor his movements. They even collect his trash to look for clues that he might be Shadow. While watching him, they notice that he is popping bubble wrap in his hands to pass the time. At HQ, they find codes on pieces of torn paper, but the team cannot decode them. Not even Wong. The police chief states that Shadow always disappears from the area after a job, but this time Shadow has stayed. Wong explains that their job may not be finished yet, and they need to find out what it is. The next day, Wong roams the market, and Fu spots him there. Fu tries to determine whether Wong has recently moved to the area, but Wong has already memorized the market, including which stores offer the lowest prices. Fu notices that Wong has calluses on his hands, and Wong explains that they are from being a chef. Wang then invites Fu to dinner, and Fu agrees to come to their place. Later that night, Fu arrives at the place, which Wang and his team bought from the previous owner. Wang has Fu cook the meal, and he is surprised by Fu's cooking skills. As they eat, Wang gets up, leaving Fu and Hei alone at the table. Fu asks Hei where she got her scars, and she tells him she had them after getting into a fight with a few classmates when she was in 5th grade. Fu had asked Wang the same question while they were cooking, and he is surprised that they both gave the same answer. Fu reveals this to Hei, who's also surprised. Still pretending to be her father in front of Fu, Wang admits that he has always been watching over her. After dinner, Fu leaves, and Hei thanks Wang for watching over her after her father died. Wang admits that it was the least he could do. Hei leaves the apartment, and Wang is left alone, but Jiwang soon arrives and tries to kill him. It turns out that Simon has successfully hacked into their system again and discovered Wang and Hei's identities as police officers. Simon lies to Fu about Wang and Hei's identity, while Wang and Jiwang engage in a fight in which Wang demonstrates his combat skills and manages to hold his own against a younger, highly trained killer. Simon has also hacked into their cameras once again, and it takes them a few minutes to realize that the footage they have been watching is another fake, just as Hei walks into their room with a copy of Fu's cell phone data that she extracted when she hacked it during dinner. Meanwhile, Wang and Jiwang continue fighting inside the room, destroying everything. Jiwang manages to grab his gun and shoots at Wang, who jumps to take cover. Simon then warns Jiwang that the police are on their way for Wang. Jiwang leaves the place immediately, and Wang manages to survive the attack. Fu leaves his apartment, and the police enter to gather evidence. They continue to monitor him and follow his car. While they are trailing him, Wang and Hei's car is attacked and thrown into their own HQ. Several mercenaries emerge to fight the police inside, while Hei drags an unconscious Wang out of the vehicle. Hei manages to grab a gun and helps fight the mercenaries, just as Wang wakes up and joins the fight, saving Hei in the process. Wang realizes that the bubble wrap is where the real password is hidden, and that they must decode it, instructing Hei to relay the information to HQ. On the other hand, Fu and Jiwang arrive at their hideout. Fu goes inside while Jiwang remains outside. However, as Fu heads to his room, he finds himself cornered by a group of mercenaries who were paid to kill him. Fu pulls out a knife and fights the mercenaries, taking them down with precise strikes to the neck and showcasing his knife skills. He then stares at the camera, realizing that Simon must have ordered his assassination, and continues fighting the remaining mercenaries, taking them down one at a time. Meanwhile, Wang continues fighting the remaining attackers in the HQ. Hei returns to assist him, and the rest of the team arrives to help at the same time. Unfortunately, the attackers manage to destroy the monitoring room and damage some of their equipment. On the other hand, Fu takes down the remaining attackers and threatens Simon, warning that he will come after him. Jiwang then arrives and reveals that he was the one who planned everything. Fu and Jiwang engage in a fight, but Fu proves to be far more skilled and quickly overpowers him, while Simon can do nothing but watch his twin die at Fu's hands. As Fu prepares to finish Jiwang, Jiwang confesses that in his next life, he wants Fu to be his real father. After Simon sees Jiwang die at Fu's hands, he triggers the bomb he planted there. At the same time, Wang finally takes down the remaining attackers, but they discover that the group's true target is the vault located in their HQ, which contains the password for the government crypto account they had stolen. Madame Wang realizes that the SWAT team that entered to secure the place was actually the Spice Girls in disguise, and they successfully stole the account's password, which consists of 12 seed phrases. Meanwhile, Fu is arrested by Wu and his team, but before they can take him away, Fu tells them there is something else they do not know about. Wang and the others locate the group in a hotel where they intend to meet with another associate. However, the group spots them immediately and splits up. Their main target is Simon, who holds the computer and the seed phrases, so Wang orders Hei to tail him while he takes on 2 of the group members. However, the 2 members fight Wang with all their power and strength, overwhelming him with their unique fighting styles. Wang does his best to take them down, but they are relentless and almost overpower him. Meanwhile, Fu is inside police vehicle being escorted by Wu and 5 more police officers. Fu's phone rings and it is Simon, and the team let him talk to him to be able to trace his location. When they find Simon's location, Hey arrives immediately, but Simon has already hung up the phone. He also leaves behind a signal blocker at the scene, disrupting Hey's communication system. However, Hey remembers Wong's lecture on observation and is finally able to identify Simon. Inside the police vehicle, Fu hands the phone back to Wu, but intentionally drops it. When Wu tries to pick it up, Fu starts a fight. He manages to release tear gas inside, causing the others to gasp for air, while he holds his breath until he finally overpowers everyone. Meanwhile, Wong finds a steel pole to use as a weapon and gains the advantage over the two enemies. Hey, on the other hand, fails to trail Simon and loses him in the crowd. Shin arrives and gives her his earpiece so she can contact HQ, and Hey informs him of Simon's appearance. As Shin scans the area, he spots Simon heading toward the train station. Without his earpiece, Shin follows him on his own. HQ tracks Shin moving toward the station and informs Hey and Wong of his location. After Wong and Hey meet up, they begin running after Shin. Meanwhile, Shin is stabbed in the leg by Fu, who is also trailing Simon. Fu then stabs Simon multiple times before Simon can react. Before he dies, Simon utters the seed phrases but is unable to complete the last one. The twins are dead, and the rest of the group are captured, except for Fu. Shin also dies at the scene after losing a significant amount of blood, which leaves Hey deeply frustrated. The next day, Wong arrives at HQ to comfort Hey. While they are talking, they realize that Fu does not know how to cash out cryptocurrency and suspect that he might approach the owner to sell it back to him. After a few weeks of tracking the owner, they discover that he has arranged a meeting with Fu for the crypto trade in a small cafe. Hey decides to trail Fu at the cafe, but Fu spots her first and corners her at a table. Hey continues to pretend she is not a police officer, and Fu becomes convinced by her acting. Fu asks what happened to the boy she was with a few nights ago, and Hey tells him that the boy was stabbed to death. Fu then believes he made the mistake of killing Shin. Hey spots Wong outside, but just as she is about to leave, Fu chokes her unconscious. Wong blocks the back exit of the cafe, preventing Fu from escaping. When Wong corners him inside, a fight breaks out between the two. The clash between the experienced fighters begins as the rest of the people flee the area, and the fight eventually carries them to the upper floor. The fight remains evenly matched until Fu pulls out a knife, determined to finish Wong without hesitation. Wong does his best to dodge or block Fu's attacks, but he sustains wounds across his body. Hey eventually regains consciousness, but as she tries to make sense of what she missed, Wong and Fu fall from the upper floor of the cafe. Wong is unable to recover from the fall, and Fu attempts to finish him off, but Hey intervenes. Fu eventually escapes, while Wong, severely injured and unable to stand, orders Hey to pursue him, warning that they may not get another chance if they lose him again now. Hey follows the order and requests emergency assistance for Wong, who's losing a significant amount of blood. She loses sight of Fu in the crowd, but then remembers that he has a bandage on his hand. She eventually spots him slipping into another alley and informs the team. The team arrives almost immediately and surrounds Fu in a square formation, leaving him no possible escape route. With their coordinated movements, they eventually corner him completely. Fortunately, Wong sustains no critical wounds and is quickly treated by the medical team. He then arrives at the scene to personally arrest Fu. Hey steps in to do it instead, and Fu attempts one last move to escape, but Hey overpowers him. Later, a man reviews the CCTV footage in which Simon utters the seed phrases, but he cannot determine the last word. It is then revealed that the twins have another brother, making them triplets, and he has now launched a global hunt for Wong, Hey and Fu. Fu is also the only remaining person who knows the final word of the seed phrase. See you in our next Film Flash. Thank you for watching.